Okay, so here we go. I've been waiting a while for something like this. We're on what, the third generation of the Samsung Galaxy Tab Ultra series with the 14.6-inch screen. Big giant big boy. And there have been a number of keyboard cases. Samsung makes its book cover and its slim keyboard case. And those are fine. They're third-party cases that are similar to the Samsung book style with the two pieces. You've got the kickstand in the back and you've got the keyboard on the bottom. But no one was really making anything like this. This is more of an Apple Magic Keyboard style case. And you could get them for the 11-inch tab, you could get them for the 12.4-inch tab, but no one was making them for the 14.6 Ultra until now. Recently, when I was looking for a keyboard case for my smaller tablet, I happened to see this link and I was like, what? I've not seen this is new. I had to order it. I had to order it right away to see if it was any good. I knew if nothing else, I could review it for all of you and let you know if it's worth money. Spending your own money on this thing. This thing cost about 160 bucks on Amazon. I'll have affiliate links. I'm an affiliate now, yay. I'll have links in the description if you want to buy this. But I'm going to tell you all about it. This is the box. You can see a picture of it right here. And you get the open here piece. And on the other side, you get some information about, really, I think this is a generic box. It really doesn't tell you anything. If it came in colors, it would be marked here. If it came in different keyboard styles, it would tell you, but this, just as far as I know, comes in one. You've got this wording on the side, enhance your digital life, and that's on the both sides for whatever reason. And that's pretty much it on the back. It tells you a little bit about it. You can see that it's got the backlight, and the backlight does come in colors. I believe there's 7 different colors. It's got scissor switches, supposedly. 1.3 millimeters of travel. I do want to note that this is more travel than you get with the Apple Magic Keyboard, which is 1 millimeter, and it is noticeable. If that matters to you, just know that you do get a little bit more travel. These keys are a little bit deeper. The sensitive touchpad, multi-angle support. We're going to talk about that. Innovative fabric matching with the high quality polyurethane fabric. Is it high quality? We'll talk about that too. And this sticker was on the keyboard and I just took it off the keyboard and put it on here so I wouldn't lose it. It just tells you how to pair it up when you first take it out of the box. And you really don't get very much in the box. You get a cable to charge the keyboard and you get some paperwork. You get the usual, please give us all your details and we'll extend your warranty. And you get the manual, which comes in English and Chinese. It's not a lot, but it has everything that you need to know, what your shortcuts are, how to change the backlight, what the little buttons mean, what your gestures are, and it gives you information about the keyboard, how long will the battery last. There are a couple of big things to know about this keyboard, battery and angles, and we're going to get into them. So that's what you get. Here's the keyboard. And as you can see, it is a big keyboard. You've got a reasonable size trackpad here. And you've got, because it is such a big tablet, you've got full-size keys. You've got a dex key here between the F12 and the delete. And you've got settings. So settings and dex right here on this button. You've got an AI key, of course. When you first tap it, you can set it to be Bixby or Gemini. And you can set that to be just once or always, the usual kind of prompts you get with Android. Most of the other keys are normal. You do have the ability to turn off the touchpad, the trackpad with this button. And if you've ever used an Android keyboard case with a trackpad, you know that sometimes that becomes necessary. So basically, it's just a big iPad Apple Magic Keyboard style case. You can take the keyboard, the tablet off, and you've just got this foldable section back here. There's nothing really special back here. It's dusty and dirty. Because it is kind of textured, it does trap lint and dirt. You can't really see on camera, I don't think, is really showing up the texture, but it's not that smooth texture like with the Apple Magic keyboard, which I don't have here with me, but I have another keyboard that feels a lot like it. It's very smooth. This one is a little bit more textured. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but it is a little bit more textured. I fold this back and close it. I don't know if you can see that this is very smooth and this has a little bit of fake leather texture to it. So while I'm showing you the back of it, again, collects dust and dirt very quickly. You can see that this cutout isn't perfect. It's designed according to the box to fit all of the generations of the Ultra, I believe. It says that on here. Maybe it doesn't say that on here, but it is designed to fit multiple generations. So it's not a perfect fit, but it does latch on here completely. And there's an open spot for the S Pen. Now, I'm not a big fan of this. I have a case for my 11-inch from Doco that has a little loop on it. And this loop allows you to keep the S Pen in place. I like this a lot. I wish all of these style cases had the option for a loop. I do wish that the loop was removable if you didn't want it, because it does keep the thing from being flat when you lay it down. But the fact that you won't ever lose your S Pen, I think that's really appealing. This one doesn't have that, but at least there is a cutout for it, and the pen obviously will charge there. When you open the case back up, there is no space in here for the pen to go. So that's really the only place for the pen to go. Now, this is where I want to really start talking about the things to really think about if you're interested in this case. Because if you have an Ultra and you're like me and you've been waiting for an iPad style case, then you're probably very used to the concept of a Magic Keyboard. Either you've seen one, or you have one, or you've experienced a video that shows how it works. And usually you get pretty good viewing angles with those things, right? If I turn this sideways, and it's huge, so it's kind of unwieldy. So I'm probably not going to get this to work exactly the way I want it to. But if I turn it here, you can see that I can lay it flat. And then when I open it up, there's really, it doesn't go back any farther. Move this. It doesn't really go back any farther than that. You can push on it, but it's going to pop back up. There's really only that much. You can have it perfectly upright, then you can have it back. Just, there's not a lot of viewing angles. This is really the only usable viewing angle. I pull back a little bit, you can see this is really all you're going to get. You're not going to get it to bend back any farther than that. Unfortunately, it's really frustrating if you've used an Apple Magic Keyboard, or even if you've used any of the cantilever suspension keyboards for the smaller tabs. You just know you get better viewing angles out of that thing. You're not going to get it here. Now, I suspect that because it has taken, 3 years for someone to create this, that this was really the issue all along, is that the weight and the size of this tablet and keeping it balanced so it doesn't topple over is what really makes this design challenging for such a big tablet. The only other tablet I've ever seen that's roughly this size with an Apple Magic Keyboard style case was the Lenovo Extreme Tab. If you saw that thing, it's actually a little bit smaller than this, but Lenovo made a keyboard case for that was awesome. At least it looked awesome. I never got to put my hands on it, but it was same concept of this floating suspended design, and it looked like it had more angles than this. But that tablet really didn't sell very well, and I don't think Lenovo will ever make another one, unfortunately. So that's really, to me, the biggest limitation you should know right off the bat is that when you're using it, and if you're sitting, this angle that you have here, this is the angle you're going to get. This is how it's going to look. So if this is too upright for you, because you can't go back any farther and have it stay. You'll want to. Trust me, I'm pushing it all day. But this is the angle that you're going to get. Now, it's usable, and I do think that you could get used to it. If this really bothers you, then obviously this is not the keyboard case for you. But I think that if this angle works for you, either you push it farther back on the desk or you just get used to the angle of being almost straight up and down. If you get used to that, then this keyboard case is pretty much exactly what you would expect. To me, that's one of the biggest drawbacks. One of is there is another one. So again, the keyboard itself feels nice to type on. The keys, I don't know if that's going to come across in the video, but the keys are clicky and they do have decent travel. Like I said, I have a Magic Keyboard from my iPad Pro, my M1 iPad Pro. I've used that extensively. I like it a lot. I do think these keys feel a little bit deeper and travel more, and it is noticeable. I'm able to type on both of them though. So if you've been able to type on a Magic Keyboard, if you've been able to type on other Android keyboard cases, this one should present no issues. I haven't had any problems with duplicating keys. I haven't have any problems with stickiness. I haven't had any problems with the backlight. It does go out after a period of time, but as soon as you tap a key, it comes right back on. The trackpad, again, if you've used an Android tablet, you know that if you don't keep your hands in the right spot, as soon as you touch a touchpad, you'll find that the cursor, say if I just accidentally touch it with my hands, I'm typing along. And usually the rejection is sometimes really good and it lulls you into a false sense of complacency. But eventually, if you don't keep your hands off the trackpad, you will find the cursor moving and you'll find yourself typing where you don't want to be typing. I don't necessarily consider that a drawback of this case because that has been my experience with all of the Android keyboard cases that I've used. Anything that has a trackpad, I should say. Now, if the trackpad is here, now if it's one of those Bluetooth foldables where the trackpad's off to the side, obviously that's a different situation. But whenever there's been a trackpad here, laptop style, I've had that issue. So I don't necessarily hold it against this case. If you're used to that, if you're used to knowing that you have to keep your hands off, or if you're used to turning off the trackpad when you're typing, this is not going to be a problem for you. But if you've never used an Android keyboard case with a trackpad, just know that that is an issue. And I think that it is probably an Android issue, and I hope that Google continues to resolve it. It is better, I think, than it was a few years ago, but it is still present and it is still annoying. And I experience it like I don't experience it on Windows or with the Magic Keyboard. So that's why I think it's an Android problem. Even just mouse control with trackpads and mice on Android is a little wonkier than it is on Windows or with iPad OS. So those are the obvious things that you see, right? You see when you're typing what the experience is like and with the cursor moving around, and you see the viewing angles. The other caveat I think you need to know with this case is the battery. Now, the manual will tell you that it takes 2 to 3 hours to charge the battery, which fine. And then it'll tell you that you get 100 days of standby. Sounds great. But then it tells you you get 5 hours of continuous use. Now, that could be a deal breaker for you. If you intend to buy this case and use this setup for work, and you have a normal 8-hour or more workday, you're not going to get through the workday. If you're typing a lot now, that's continuous. So it could be that, like right now, you see the backlight went off and the keyboard is sleeping. Being on right now, this wouldn't be considered continuous use. I don't know throughout the course of a normal workday when you're typing and you're mousing, I don't know how many hours you get out of mixed use, with some of it sleeping and some of it continuous use. But just know that 5 hours of continuous use means that if you're heavy taking a lot of notes or doing a lot of typing, or if writing is your job and you're writing all day, then this keyboard will probably get on your nerves because you'll probably have to charge it before the end of the workday. Now, I haven't had it die on me in one day because I've not been typing on it continuously for 5 hours at a time. but I have had to charge this case already within the first, I think, first 2 days, 2.5 days, I'll say that I got it. I did have to charge it. I got the little red light here letting me know, okay, it's time to charge it. That hasn't ever happened to me before. I've had Android keyboard cases with trackpads, multiple. I just showed you a couple. I've never gotten battery warning lights on them. And this is even after them sitting for weeks, months. One of them, it was maybe even a year I didn't touch it. Bring it back out, type on it, keep using it. Never run into battery issues. Now, again, I'm not using them continuously for hours at a time, but to have one go, not dead, but close to dead on me within the span of a couple of days, that's concerning to me. So I want to bring it up because it may not be an issue for you if you only use this for, a few minutes here and there, or pull it out for an hour or two. If you really want to do serious typing, I would look at the Samsung case, because those are going to use the pogo pins and they're going to draw power from the tablet, and you're going to get a lot more hours of use out of them. But if you want this style, this is it. This is what we have to work with. So if you want to use this style of keyboard case, you either need to know that you need to ration your usage of the backlight, especially because I think more backlight use will drain the battery faster. Turn off the backlight if you don't need it, if you're in daylight, or just know that you're going to have to charge it, at some point during the middle of the day. Other than that, other than those three things, I think this is a pretty decent case. And I'm going to keep it because, like I said, I've been waiting for this since I first got an Ultra. And so for me, because I'm not using it for work 8 hours a day, and I can close it up and put it away, or take, the tablet off and put another keyboard on if I know I'm really going to be typing hard for hours. I have those options. But if this is the one and only keyboard case that you're going to get for your tablet, just know that you can live within its limitations or accept charging on a frequent basis. Otherwise, I love it. It's clearly not the best suspension keyboard case I've ever used. I still think the Magic Keyboard is better. I have another Android keyboard case that I think is a little bit better than this one as well, especially in terms of viewing angles. I'm really disappointed by the viewing angles on this one, but it is a very large tablet. This system is very top heavy, and right now it's weighted pretty well. You see I'm pushing on it. It takes a pretty good push to even get the bottom to lift, right? If you're just tapping on it, just tapping on the screen, it's not moving. So they've weighted it pretty well for what it is. But this is what it is. What do you think? Would you buy this? If you're interested, links are in the description. Thanks for watching.